Hello everyone and welcome back for the final week, week 8 of English 1510 A8109. A couple of touch base things here as last minute cleanup. Make sure that you reviewed this. We're taking this off now when this posts up. Just had a little bit of an issue today with posting some of the video things. Servers aren't working real well, so uploading is taking a little bit of time. It's probably going to be up after 9 p.m. But as close to as possible. But on here, guys, the main things are these. To start, questions about ChatGPT and those things for where we ended with decisions for the term. I have decided to not go any further than, I took into consideration the requests and comments and things from students who violated academic honesty agreements, and in those situations we stuck with the failure of the assignments, not allowing students to repeat those, at least in this course. Where I'm standing with that is I had 17 total this term in an 8-week semester between 2 online classes. My face-to-face classes, I had none. But the issues there, guys, I'm letting them stand as zeros. I don't think that after giving this much warning and talking about it, mentioning alternative people knowing that violates academic honesty agreements and things, talking about using it to a less degree or anything along those lines, it really doesn't matter. It's still a violation of exactly what we're trying to maintain for our academic integrity. So I don't see any way to give any additional consideration to those. For students who had 1, in each of the classes, it's a 0 in that category. You're not redoing that assignment. The other ones, though, I had a couple of students with 2 and a couple of students with 3, and those are standing the same way. So it is, if you can pass with having submitted other things, then you can that's the grade that I'll post. Otherwise, if it's a failed grade because of those things, I'm not making any changes to those. That was what you created by doing those things, not following the directions and not actually writing the work. I tried to give enough warning to everyone that we do not allow this, that we monitor for these things. We have AI detection. I've been mentioning it for weeks in the past about these issues. In weeks 1 and 2, I was already mentioning those. So those are going to stand as zeros, folks. So if you're in that category, you're just going to have to reapply and retake the course, unless you're a person who's on their 2nd time with academic dishonesty, because I am going to be making sure that they're filed with the school, at least that we run through to make sure I don't have additional academic dishonesty and plagiarism issues, because then those have to be, those students definitely will have to be meeting with an administrator in order to register for further classes. At this time, in this class, I don't know that I have any students like that, but I'm giving that fair warning there. I'm giving failed grades in those categories. If you still have enough credit to still pass in the class, fine. Otherwise, if it's a failed grade, that's on you. For the final submissions, guys, I got a bunch of the requests last week about these different things, so I moved the due dates, and I know that several of you were in the one area where there were power outages again, and I understand. And then it was sort of a smattering of family issues and things, and I got 7 different, doctor's notes and stuff. I understand, I accept, I push those, the memoir rewrites. In this class, I believe I only had 2 of you, 3 students that I recommended rewrite. 2 have already submitted, so there's 1 more that I think that it might still be submitting on those. Otherwise, everybody else had a 23 out of 25 and higher, so a rewrite wasn't recommended. The research paper, yes, I got a question about whether or not you're still doing this. Yes, that's why I put that announcement out and made this comment here. Too many issues of these other things. I got sick. That really set me back. And then trying to deal with all this stuff with academic dishonesty, we were not planning on having 1, 2, 3 meetings a week that were just revolving around these things and having to chase down and cover our butts on making sure we were looking at the right things and giving as much consideration possible to students who are at least perceived as being cheating in those areas. So I am keeping this as the final submission. You do need to complete the outline. Make sure that for the outline, you've actually downloaded this template and filled it out. A couple of students were still despite my notes and comments on these things, they are still making their own outlines. I want you using these templates filled in, and as long as I have everything for this template, I will be able to confirm that you're able to do quotes in context, use them as support, citations, those kinds of things, and still give the main bodies of criteria, because all semester you've written other academic papers, and I can see between pairing the both that you met the criteria for the MLA formatting and research component of a 1510 course. Okay, this will be fully framed as an essay. It's just in your outline form. Remember that you're writing in full statements, right? Full sentences, everything else. Rhetorical analysis. In this class, I only had 4 left, but now I have 8 because a couple of you requested additional commentary on either draft or summary outline. You wanted clarification on a couple points. So I do have 8 of you that I'm posting back up your final, your feedback files there for the summary outline and rough draft. Remember, rough draft, most of you, as long as you did the entire draft and you submitted it to the discussion board and things, you went through that process, you got most of the points, if not all of the points, for the rough draft. The summary and outline is what I put feedback on and commentary, and then your final draft I'll mark accordingly. If you did submit a final draft already here or one of these outlines before getting other feedback, remember, I take that into consideration. I don't mark you down further. Most of the students in class that did all their work are already in a high B, low A range. The only thing keeping the class percentage down, the class average in here, were the academic dishonesty violation things that we dealt with throughout the term. If this class has got about a mid-level C, high C average, but if I take out the academic honesty issues and leave just the students who did all the work and didn't have any issues of those, we actually have a class average of about 91%. So most students did very well. So again, I moved these drop boxes to these dates, memoir rewrite and research paper, both to the 27th. If you've already submitted something but you wanted to adjust something, go ahead and submit another one, and I will go with the most recent submission. That goes for the rhetorical analysis too. If you were one of my students that requested further feedback on one of those things that you and I were discussing already, I took those into consideration. I'm posting those today and tomorrow. Otherwise, there were a couple of students where I still didn't have the ones republished with an actual audio feedback that I wanted to put on there. So once those are up on there, that'll cover everyone. You'll have till the 28th at 11:30 p.m. to actually submit a final draft here. This one, a bunch of you already put yours in here. This file was here under assignments all term. This is extra credit confirmation that you can just send me your forms for the ASC. I'll leave this in the Dropbox here under upcoming events. So if you wanted to make sure that you forwarded your ASC tutoring confirmation form, you can just put a copy of it in there, and I'll go from that file there as opposed to searching through emails. I did get 11 or 12 of them for this class that were sent to me via email. And remember, at the end of the semester, whether you did 1 or you did 12, you get all those points added into your final grade as extra credit, and I put them in the category that most positively impacts your grade. All right, so for the next 2 days, guys, you're just going through filling out this outline and your final draft on here and submitting those. If you got recommended to do a rewrite, those are up to the 27th. And as I said, in this class, I think there were only 3 of you. Extra credit confirmation, make sure those are in. And again, if you didn't have feedback on something and you see a final grade on things, I will not mark down further if you didn't have feedback, for instance, on rhetorical analysis. If you didn't have a summary outline feedback prior to putting your final draft and you want to be done with that already and you're not submitting another one, don't worry about it. You don't need to submit another one. I will take it in consideration that you didn't have that summary. I will still make the comments and corrections on there and tell you what I think would be addressed, what things you'd adjust, so that you understand in the future if you ever have to do something like this, you can still address those issues. Same goes here for research paper outline portions. I'll put the feedback on those once you submit those. I just won't mark down further points because you had errors on there, but I will make note of them so you know what the errors were. As I've said to many of you throughout the semester, I care much more about whether or not you learn this stuff as opposed to whether or not the grades are, the grade things aren't as important to me as much as it is you learning the material. So if you have those on there and I have to do further notes for those, I will, and I'll still give you the grade that you would have gotten if you had feedback already. Okay? If I have any questions from anybody, again, send it off instant message. I think that I've gotten back to everyone here. I don't have any new bubbles popped up the last day or so. I went through 20-some messages yesterday and 14 the day before, so I think I got to everybody. But it's been a pleasure working with the majority of you guys. It just was unfortunate the way this played out with academic honesty issues. I hope all of you have a great summer for the remainder, and I hope the fall semester goes well for you. You get closer to finishing your degree.